the brothers theme going here. Last week we did the Navin brothers, and then I interviewed my brother Jake earlier this week, which was posted up actually tonight, April 14th. And now I'm sitting down with the Verro brothers, and we're going to get their perspective on their experience running at Saratoga. Both of these guys had very successful careers at Saratoga. So we've got older brother Joseph and younger brother Antony, and we'll get their perspective on their experiences at Saratoga. So, Joe, you want to start off and tell us about some of the highlights and fondest memories that you have of your time running at Saratoga?
Yeah, sure. Thanks for having us, Coach.
You got it.
Awesome thing you're doing. So, yeah, thank you. Highlights of Saratoga. I mean, we had a lot for that group of guys.
Yeah.
And I think people probably watched Jay and Aiden this week.
Yes.
And, so they definitely got to hear some of them. But yeah, we were a couple-time All-Americans, indoors, state champions for cross country, third place in the 4x8 at states, got the chance to compete at NXN, Penn Relays, bunch of different national titles and big meets all across the country. So we were, definitely had a successful team that really worked hard and was really fortunate, to travel the country and compete at a high level. And some of the best races were the local races, section title, were a lot of fun, racing at Stack. We won sectionals, I think almost every year I was there on the cross country team. We won the indoor section meet as a team.
Yeah, that's right. We did. Yeah.
Really small team. A lot of guys stepped up and raced a lot of times, and that was a really cool day. And then we had the first outdoor section win too.
Right. Can you talk a little bit about, Joe, at your meet at that outdoor sectional? Because that was a true highlight for me. And every year, it seems like the anniversary where the pictures come up on Facebook or whatever, and I get reminded of that meet. But talk a little bit about, how you stepped up in that meet in the absence of Jay Navin when the coaches messed up the count of meets on him and he wasn't eligible to compete.
Right. That was definitely a very interesting day. I really wasn't known as like a very good individual, mostly, team relay runner. And I really loved that. But that day, I was fortunate enough to win that Section 2 mile championship. And that kind of happened as a lot of things happen where Jake in that race didn't get the chance to run it. And we were warming up, getting ready. We were actually on the indoor track when we got a phone call. It was either from you or Coach Riley. Can't remember. But I could just the whole room deflating. And so, I just kind of had to give him a hug and then remove myself and, just this is going to be our day anyways. We're going to make it happen. And, we've had a great training season. Didn't know if I had a chance of winning the race, but, why not get out there? I knew I was closing races really well.
You were finishing unbelievable. Yeah.
Yeah. So I knew if I could put myself in a good spot with 400 to go, who's going to beat me? So,
yeah. And I thought
do it. Yeah.
You pushed yourself to the limit, but I think you were even greater physical danger when you crossed the finish line and Jay essentially attacked you with high fives and hugs. And I didn't know if you were going to come out alive. And, the picture with you putting your hands up this, give me a second.
Yeah, that's a great clip.
I just exhausted myself. That was
so
awesome.
Funny. And I can just remember something that really sticks out is you just saying, save one gear. With 200 to go. And I just took
because you love to just rip at 300 meters, which was great, but a lot of times, you'd get to that last 75 and you'd be feeling it. And you just executed it just perfectly that day and had a blast, one last blast down the straightaway to hold off people coming up on you. And it was just really exciting. Let me switch over to Anthony. Anthony, you want to share a little bit about your highlights, some of your fondest memories from your
Yeah.
experience at Saratoga?
So I think the first thing that comes to mind was junior year outdoor sectionals when the team won. I think it was like 2 or 3 points.
Yeah.
First through third was separated by like 5.
Yeah, us, Schenectady, and Shen were within 5 points of each other. That's just insane in a track meet.
And
Yeah.
the whole team was just huddled around for like 20 minutes. We had no idea if we were first or third, and we were just waiting around for it.
And that's one of the worst things about our sport is there's no scoreboard. So like the last event ends and everybody just stands there looking at each other like, I think we might have won.
And my favorite race was probably the mile I ran at our last home meet, I think. I don't remember if it was junior or senior year, but I was coming around. I think it was right after the third lap,
Yep.
and one of my teammates, Ezra, just runs off the track, and he was leading the race. I was very confused, and then I just had to finish the race. I won, and I think I ended up running like a 15-second PR.
You did. It's a similar situation to Joe's, how Joe had to step in kind of for his best friend and win the race. And you had to do the same thing. And I was hoping that you were going to bring this up because it is a classic, but we don't want to embarrass Ezra too much. But I mean, Ezra was one of the best runners in the section. And I think he probably would have won that race without too much difficulty. And there was 2 Shen guys and then you right on his tail coming up the home stretch. So 500 meters to go in the race.
Mm-hmm.
And Ezra just kind of gave me a look like this is not going to happen. And if you've ever seen the movie Forrest Gump, when Forrest Gump scores a touchdown and then keeps running straight through the end zone and out the back of the stadium, Ezra just did that, and he just kept running until he got to the locker room. But the race continued, obviously, and all of a sudden you were, the only scoring athlete left on the track, and you had 2 Shen guys to deal with. And like you said, you did just like Joe did. I mean, you sat on them and came around 300 meters to go. You started to build, and you kind of broke away from them, and you had this great, huge finish. And I think you ran like 4:32 or something. And I don't know if you'd ever been under 4:45 before then.
No.
Which was just amazing. So that was really cool. And Anthony, we have a lot of memories together because when I started coaching the boys year round, that was kind of the years when you were coming up to being a varsity runner. So we did a lot of traveling and trips together. So I have a lot of memories with your guys' group, and it was just like always a lot of fun and hardworking and hardworking group. So similar to your brother's experience in a lot of ways, which is really cool. We've seen that parallel. And the other thing that I really love about, the role that both of you guys played is you guys are kind of silent leaders on the team. I talked a little bit about this with Tom Conboy, the difference of leading from the front versus leading from the middle. I think both you guys had a great knack for leading from the middle, meaning you didn't need to stand up in front of people and do a lot of like rah-rah, but you still had the respect of your teammates. Could you maybe, even though this isn't one of the questions I prepped you for, could you talk a little bit about that idea of, being a leader that doesn't necessarily have to, command the attention of the room all the time, but still has a great effect on their teammates? Joe, you can go first if you want.
Yeah, sure. I always thought it was, I wouldn't say it was something I really tried to do. It was just, we're naturally kind of a quiet couple of guys. But, we always showed up and, we're there to work hard, do our best, compete at a high level, and be supportive, of our other teammates, anytime they needed it. That's something I always try to do. And so I think that just kind of grows organically over time. If you're consistently there for your teammates over and over again, working hard with them every day and just being there and trying not to complain and, be emotional and, things like that. That's kind of like the Verro strength.
That's the Verro way. What do you think, Anthony? Anything to add to that?
Yeah, I think just you try to do the things the right way every single day, and people just kind of catch on to it. So.
Yeah. And you guys, I mean, I always used to laugh because you both would do the same reaction to when your teammates and your best friends would start doing something really goofy, and you would just smirk like you're smirking right now, and just kind of shake your heads a little bit,
Oh yeah.
and you're like, I don't know, coach, I don't know.
Yep.
You know, like
Exactly.
the voice of reason. You're just, yep, that Joe just did it. It's like I don't know why.
Yeah, I
I don't know
can't.
why
Yeah,
Travis
that's
is doing that. I
just
don't
who
know
they are.
why. I don't know why Evan's doing that, but he's doing it, and that's Evan, or
Yeah,
that's Travis,
exactly.
or that's Jay. You know, and you were the same way. You know, Anthony, when Ezra would start doing something real goofy, or Peter would start doing something goofy, or something like that, and you'd just be like, yeah, I don't know. All right. You guys want to, we'll switch gears a little bit here and talk a little bit about the college experience. I mean, Anthony, you're just right into it. So I don't know, you know, you could talk a little bit about, you know, what you've experienced so far, but, you know, Joe, you want to talk about your experience as an athlete, as a student, going to University of New Hampshire?
Yeah, sure. So I went to University of New Hampshire, you know, Division I school, pretty successful program.
Yeah.
Got some very talented athletes like Ellie Purrier, if you've heard of her. She's kind of on the national stage right now.
Yeah. She ran the American record for women's indoor mile, right? Just a couple months ago.
Yeah, Milrose, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, unbelievable athlete. So very inspiring team to be a part of. And it was definitely very difficult balance. You know, I'm a chemical engineering major, heavy workload during college, also trying to balance a Division I program, you know, and being a distance runner, you know, you're putting in high mileage every week,
Yeah.
and, you know, trying to keep up with kids that are way out of my league. You know, even on the best day, I was like, well, you know, maybe we won't come in last today. So that was kind of the mindset there. But no, it was definitely a great program. Loved all my teammates. Really great guys and girls.
And I mean, despite maybe not being one of the fastest guys on that team, you were still a captain, right?
Yeah, I was chosen as a captain my senior year.
Yeah.
Cross country team, which was a great honor. You know,
Yeah.
even though I wasn't even really running at the time, you know, to still get that was very, very cool.
Can you talk a little bit, because this is just a common thread, about the relationships and how important the friendships are that you've created in high school running and college running, and how those relationships built in similar ways?
Sure. I mean, it's incredibly important, especially in that sport. It's such a team sport. You know, you're depending on all your teammates every day. You know, and you're working hard together every day, and sometimes the work is really tough, and that's the only way to get through it. And I was also fortunate enough to come up with some very entertaining characters. You know, Aiden and Jay and Nevin and like all of them. We're all great people. You know, and everyone had an incredible work ethic that, you know, was probably instilled into us either by our parents or our coaches. You know, we're very fortunate at Saratoga, you know, to have that so much incredible opportunity and support, you know, all around from everyone. So yeah, can't talk about it enough.
Anthony, what about your experience? I mean, you've been at Cortland. You didn't even get to finish your first year, but you know, what about you know, what you're looking into studying and things like that?
So right now, my major is exercise science. I'm thinking about probably getting into physical therapy.
Nice.
But I'm not 100% sure on that yet. So I don't know. We'll have to see. My time got cut short a little bit, so have to see next year about
All right.
that.
So, Joe, you want to talk a little bit about post-college and you know, what you've been doing the last few years and some of your maybe goals and things like that?
Yeah, sure. So I actually just recently moved out to Colorado, living in Denver, working in the Golden area. So I just got a job in consulting for the federal government, mainly in like clean energy projects and clean transportation projects. We're starting to get into local government work too, but it's kind of on pause right now.
Yeah.
And then like before that, I was working for the Attorney General in New York State, doing some regulatory work for them. And I've just started getting back into running again, which I'm really happy about.
Yeah.
Took me a little while. I had to take a little break. Was a little burnt out from it. But, there's a lot of new challenges and great opportunity out here with all the trails and mountains, and everyone seems to be an ultra runner.
Yeah.
So it's getting me humbled and, out of my comfort zone. So
Sure.
we'll see what the future holds, but we're hoping maybe I wasn't really a crazy distance guy, but maybe we'll try to run something a little longer in the future. We'll see.
Yeah. I mean, kind of, when you're out of your comfort zone within reason, usually good things happen, and you can challenge yourself a little bit, test yourself a little bit. And, Jay talked a little bit about the trips you guys take together and how you guys have stayed such a close-knit group, which I think is just really cool. And it speaks to, those relationships that you built over time through some, challenging, hard work and things. It really brings, people together. That's been a common thread that's come up in a lot of the interviews, is these really close relationships that Anthony's group experience or your group experience, or even the guys that I ran with when I talked with them, and my college experience. It's all very similar. The running seems to find a way of, creating a group of shared values and the understanding of hard work and, people, spending time together, doing something tough. And it's usually pretty rewarding. All right. So just maybe to finish up with you guys, how about, some advice for, current athletes? It could be, in this current situation we're in, where they're doing a lot of training on their own, without the real support of coaching and teammates, or it could just be sort of in general. I mean, Anthony, a lot of the guys are going to obviously recognize you right away because you're just a few months removed from Saratoga, but I'm sure you have some, advice you could share with them as well.
So
Go ahead, Anthony. Yeah.
I think just getting out and running every single day, there's definitely going to be other guys in this section that aren't going to be doing much right now. So anything you can just do to get ahead for, I don't know, next cross country season, you're gonna be miles ahead by the time summer training starts. And I think, I don't know, if the team, they find like a common goal and you just work around that, your individual times are they're just gonna be way faster. If you just focus on the team goal, it'll all just fall into place.
Yeah, I think that's true. I think, people kind of pursuing a common goal and focusing every day on what you can do to get closer to that goal, you're going to run faster when you feel like you need to do it for other people. You can sometimes let yourself off the hook a little bit when it's just like about you, but if you make it about everybody else and you have that trust and care in them, I think your individual times and your individual goals will be achieved. All right, Joe, what do you got for us?
Yeah. I think this is honestly, it's a great opportunity to try and, train smart and build up a nice pace, going into next year. This is a great opportunity to really see a big jump. People aren't racing. Some people are probably slacking, like Anthony said. And this is a great time to just build your mileage, and just get fit and make sure you train smart and don't get hurt. And, it's also a great time to do the little things that maybe you don't get to do every day because you're so busy with school,
Right.
and running after practice. Not everyone is working on their flexibility and doing the core and weight routines. So, it's a good chance to pick up where you're slacking or any weaknesses that you might have. And it's just an important time to be consistent and get out there every day and, evaluate what your big goals are for next year.
Yeah, well, I think those are all great pieces of advice. I mean, these are, you could look at it one way, you could look at it the other way. And if you try to find the positive in the situation, it can really be something that could be very constructive. So this wouldn't be probably a true Verro, reunion if we didn't, give your dad a shout out. And if people aren't aware, all throughout the years, I mean, I remember when I was on the team, we had pasta dinners, like going to different parents' house. Anthony and Joe's dad, Vince, and of course their mom, Colleen, too, are tremendous supporters of the program over the last decade when Joe started running. And then by the time Joe was getting ready to graduate, Anthony joined the program. So really it's over a decade that they've been involved with Saratoga cross country and track. And they love to cook dinners for the team and have people over, and they're at every meet and bringing bagels and bringing hot chocolate and all kinds of other, crazy stuff. I mean, that your dad and mom would be doing, but we'll put the crazy stuff on your dad. We won't blame your mom for that. But any comments on sort of like the role that your parents played in the program and what that meant to you guys?
Oh yeah, I mean that meant a lot. They're so incredibly supportive of both of us, and they love to be involved. So, and my dad loves, the thing he knows best is probably food. Laugh, so that's what he's gonna do. And so we always had the team over before the big meets, and then almost every meet, pasta dinners and things like that. It's always the best food, and I really miss that. But yeah, it's the best.
Anything else to add, Anthony?
I just them being at pretty much every single meet was just really great.
Yeah.
Yes, there's
And they knew everybody on the team. They knew all the parents, and that makes it so fun to coaching too, when you can build those relationships with parents over several years. And we've been fortunate with a lot of families that have been deeply invested in the program. The Navins and the Tookers and Shay's family and Ezra's family. We see them at all the meets, and it's just fantastic. And there's a lot of families that I probably left out there, but we're very, very appreciative of those types of families that support. So that's awesome. All right, guys. Well, thanks so much for taking the time to catch up, and hopefully, we'll get to see each other soon. I mean, the last time I saw Anthony, he's just throwing snowballs at my car on Christmas break. So hopefully, I get to see him, and maybe I'll throw some snowballs back or something.
Yeah, definitely. Thanks,
All right.
Coach,
for having us.
You got it, guys. We'll talk soon.
All right.